podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, viniendo a todos ustedes. El podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, viniendo de nosotros. Algunos de tus presentadores de podcast favoritos están aquí, Daviana, Marta y Rebecca.
Ese soy yo.
Este mes es el mes de herencia Hispania, así que para honor estoy tratando de cantar en español. Es un hermoso idioma. El podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, justo en tus oídos. El podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey. Oh chico, aquí viene.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Cristo Rey Columbus podcast. Today is a very, very important interview for Hispanic Heritage Month. And on the show today, we have other two co-hosts. We have Rebecca.
Hi guys.
And we have our newest co-host, Daviana.
Hey.
And we also have four wonderful teachers. You may see them around the building. We have Mrs. Vallejo.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me today.
We have Mrs. Bauman.
Hello. So glad to be on the podcast today.
We have Senor Simono.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me over. It's a pleasure.
And we also have Mrs. Terrell.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
So we have a few questions for you guys, if that's okay. So any one of you guys can answer this. What does Hispanic Heritage Month mean to you?
For me, honestly, it means a lot, just for the fact that it's a time in the calendar that we can see, and we can take a moment to just appreciate all the things and the collaborations that we've had as a community with the communities that we have around ourselves. People tend to forget and tend to point out different types of communities and religions and cultures, but we just want to make sure that the world is one, and all of us, everything is it's a melting pot where everyone is in there. Hispanic Heritage Month is just an opportunity for us to showcase all that we as Hispanics bring into each and every culture and into each and every group of individuals, and we're more than glad to keep sharing that with everyone. So it's really important.
I think that Hispanic Heritage Month is important because as our country goes towards having greater and greater appreciation for all the diverse cultures that make up our country, I think having specific months to recognize certain cultures is a good stepping stone. So as we get closer to being able to have that appreciation part of our daily existence, just having a specific month to recognize and learn and educate about a particular culture is a great way to get us to that end goal of having daily and well-educated appreciation about all the cultures that exist in our country. And I know when I was growing up, the Hispanic Heritage Month was not on my radar at all. This wasn't something that was celebrated. This wasn't something I was familiar with. And I was frequently the only Hispanic person that many of the people in my acquaintance in my social circle was familiar with. So I often was the only person who was giving them any education about Hispanic heritage. And so to have a Hispanic Heritage Month where that focus exists, I think is wonderful.
For me, it's been like an interesting month. I haven't been in the United States that long. So before coming here, I wasn't aware of how the Hispanic community was being treated in the United States. So I only had like these notions from like a foreign person. So when I learned about the Hispanic Heritage Month, I was excited. I wanted to know. I wanted to see all these people that wore similar colors, that spoke the same language. It was an opportunity for me to just meet all these people that I in my heart felt like they were all at home, that they weren't here. But suddenly this month, everybody's just speaking Spanish, dancing salsa, talking about their beautiful countries, showing off their flags. And I don't know. It's been beautiful. It means a lot to me. It makes me feel like a little bit at home, and it makes me feel like closer to my culture, to my family, even when I know like they are physically far away, but not anymore. At least thanks to the Hispanic Heritage Month.
Greetings, Cougars. Mr. Rose here, reminding you all that October is National Bully Prevention Month. Here at Cristo Rey, we want to create a bully-free zone, but we need all of you to be active participants in ensuring everyone feels safe and welcome. We strive to uphold one of the most important lessons taught in the Bible. That is, to treat others as you wish to be treated. We all must be vigilant, so if you see something, say something. Don't stand by, take action. We are all in this together.
And to me, it's important because I think the Hispanic community brings a lot of richness into other cultures. And I have talked about this before on the podcast from last week. And to me, there are two very important things that the Hispanic heritage and culture brings into other cultures, and it's the faith, the hope, specifically the Catholic faith, which is represented in church, maybe with all gathered together and pray together. We like to pray the Rosary, El Rosario, and it is beautiful to see how many people are just reading or praying the same prayer, El Padre Nuestro, El Ave Maria, when there is a happy moment in the community or a sad moment in the community. Or and the second one is the family presence. Sometimes, or in the Hispanic culture, families always follow you wherever you go and support you every at every moment on your life. It is different when we see so many young people already being independent and living by themselves and achieving goals but by themselves. And in the Hispanic community, you have your dad, your mom, your grandparents, your cousins, even we make family of other neighbors. Sometimes our neighbors become our cousins and our aunts and uncles. So the family, the unity of the family is also important. And this is a very good opportunity to share with other cultures what is beautiful about ours, and maybe, I don't know, not only share, but make them aware that family is important, and faith and hope in your life are important too.
All those answers are very, very interesting. I think that it's like all you guys are saying, it is important to learn and be educated about the different cultures that you guys have within the Hispanic community. Another question that any of you guys can answer is, what type of traditions do you guys have on Hispanic Heritage Month? Like, since all you guys are from different places, or all Latin American cultures are different, what are some traditions that you guys bring to Hispanic, or you guys celebrate during this month?
Well, as I said before, Hispanic Heritage Month wasn't something that I grew up having on my radar or really being aware of. There weren't that many other Spanish families that I was familiar with growing up in Columbus, Ohio. And so I don't have any specific traditions related to this particular month, but we certainly have many traditions related to other holidays. And when I would gather with my Puerto Rican family, either in Puerto Rico or Florida or wherever my extended family was meeting for various holidays. So we would have pasteles and tostones and amarillos, and like have specific foods that we would eat together at those family gatherings, and dance salsa, and like, so we would have many gathering traditions, but no traditions that are specific for this month.
if I talk from, I am from Mexico, so from the Mexican perspective, and we start this month with the celebration of the independence. The Hispanic Heritage National Month actually has been chosen to be from September 16 to October the 15, because during this month, many of or almost every Hispanic or Spanish-speaking country celebrates their independence. And this is important to us because as we all have learned in our history classes, I'm sure, freedom is a very important piece of every single culture. We all want to be able to choose who are going to be our governors or presidents, who's going to be the leader of our country, and we will like all to make sure that we have the freedom of speech, right, or the freedom to get an education, and the opportunity to get an education, the opportunity to get a good job, to get a good paid. So this is all what this month represents, that we all are people, we are all humans that would like to achieve different roles, right? And it will be through freedom. So freedom, I will say, is what we celebrate during this month.
Hello, Cristo Rey. My name is Lena Renee, and I'm coming to you on behalf of the Melanated and Educated Committee. We are a club that is dedicated to informing others on Black culture and issues within our culture. If this is of interest to you, please join us October 16th for our bi-weekly meeting. An email has been sent out from Mr. Ewan with introductory information, as well as the Zoom link. It will be from 6 to 7 p.m. We hope to see you all there. Stay safe.
Although the Dominican Republic doesn't celebrate their independence during this month, sorry, Maria, we do take the opportunity during Hispanic Heritage Month to, like I said, showcase some of our culture and show people the misconception that Dominican is only either a country for tourism or a country that produces baseball players. We take the opportunity to, talk about our food or talk about our music, and some of the people, like the relevant people like Oscar de la Renta, who's a fashion guru that it was from the Dominican Republic. And we take this whole month to show everyone that is willing to listen, because that's a important part. Everyone that's willing to listen and pay attention to us, that there's so much more to every country, and this goes for everyone, not just for us as Dominicans, but there's much more for every country on who is what and where they come from and what do they bring to the table, and not just a misconception that it's only a specific thing that they can do or be good at.
As I said, in Mexico, we don't celebrate the Spanish Heritage Month. What we do is like we celebrate our Patriot Month, because as Mrs. Vallejo said, like it's the month of our we celebrate our independence. So we have like family gatherings. We go out with friends. We have mariachis. We have like a lot of fiesta, a lot of food, and it's just beautiful. We probably wear our flag in so many ways that month. But in the United States, since I got here, I've been going to the Latino Festival, and it's amazing for me because I get to see a lot of Latino people. So I get to listen to these artists that I used to listen to when I was in Mexico. I get to try so much wonderful food from different countries: Argentina, Honduras, Colombia, Puerto Rico. Like all these different flavors are here to taste them, to see them, to feel them. You can see their art too, because they have like there are people that sell some of the things they do in their country. So this month of course, it's been different because we don't have that opportunity. But what I'm doing here in Columbus is like just trying to go to different Latino restaurants to support them, to always show my community that I care, that I love them, and yeah, that's basically.
A lot of people know how diverse and beautiful the Latino community is. So, for some people that aren't Hispanic, how can they respectfully celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month?
Well, I would say by being part of it, like the Latino community is just like so welcoming that every single person that wants to be part of it, like it should be part. You know, they're always welcome to join us in our fiestas, to listen to our music. Like yesterday, actually, I went out with my friends. My husband is American and his best friend is American, and they both are into a very different kind of music. But they were just there, dancing with merengue from Puerto Rico, and it was so beautiful seeing them enjoying our culture. In this case, now this part of our culture, music. And I will say, I will repeat, yeah, like just joining, be part of it, enjoy it because even when it's our culture, it's also our world, and we all are here to enjoy it, and it's here for them to enjoy it too.
And piggybacking on what Ms. Terrell just said, what we can say to those that are not Hispanic that want to be part of Hispanic Heritage Month is just come on over. It's a known fact that Hispanics are extra friendly. We wear our emotions in our sleeves. We don't hold our feelings back. So we are going to love everything that we love with all of our heart. We're gonna go ahead and just show that to everyone. And if you just want to come over and celebrate our culture, trust me, regardless of where you come from, you are going to be welcome, and you're going to be showered with everything that we have to offer.
Hello, Cristo Rey. This is Mr. Wynn, your Director of Student Support. On behalf of the counseling team, just wanted to send this little message about the SAT school day that we're having on Wednesday, October 14th. Former student Jason Blankson once said to me, there are a few things that make me feel more centered than taking the SAT. It's like a walk in the park, it's like doing yoga, and it's also like biting into that first watermelon of the summer season. And I could not agree more. So, next Wednesday, we will have the sophomores and juniors all reporting to school, A Day, B Day, all cohorts, to take the PSAT. And then seniors, the vast majority will report to Columbus State. Please talk to Mrs. Gabriel for the location and information. And one cohort, 1217A, will report to school out of the seniors. And freshmen will not be taking the PSAT that day. We will be looking for another day for you to take the test. So you are off that day. There will be bus transportation in the morning. Everything should be wrapped up by 12:30, and students are responsible for finding their own transportation home. So please make sure you touch base with your grade level counselor for all that information. Also, make sure you check out the emails from your grade level counselor for the details. So, like Jason Blankson said, it's a walk in the park. It's like yoga. It's like that bite of watermelon on a summer day. Just enjoy the SAT school day.
If anyone hasn't been yet exposed to some sort of Hispanic friends or circle, be my guest to try to go ahead and get in a circle that has someone, so you can see for yourself that we are the loudest, we are the happiest, we are the ones that are always laughing, and we have an energy that it's just gonna rub on you, and life's gonna be completely different after that.
Mr. Simona, I think what you said is a very, very interesting and beautiful thing. If you having Hispanic friends or knowing someone Hispanic is interesting, because you get to learn from each other. You get to learn the Hispanic culture, but you also get to learn, and they get to learn the American culture. So I think that that's interesting. And that's an interesting thing that you guys can piggyback off of each other, the different types of culture that you guys share.
And Marta, I will say that this year in particular, we have this great opportunity in which the ones, I know Deviona will be taking Spanish next year, but you and Rebecca are taking Spanish, and you are placed in the same classroom as the Spanish speakers in school. So this is a great opportunity to get to know them, go and talk to them, ask them questions. Before we had these two different classes, and probably that communication couldn't happen because of the setting of how the class were set up. But this year, which is a little different, I see it as a great opportunity for the non-Spanish speakers to meet the ones that speak Spanish, ask them questions, learn about their culture, and in behalf of our Spanish teachers here and the ones that we have Spanish backgrounds, I will thank you for willing to learn our language, for willing to learn about our culture and what we have to bring into your lives, into your daily routines. So I would like to use this opportunity to thank all the students for that amazing and positive energy that you bring to the Spanish classroom, and especially, yes, that willingness or learning, not only the language, but also the culture. So thank you.
I second that motion, Ms. Vallejo. I couldn't agree more with you on everything that you said. The fact that we have classes with Heritage kids and Spanish 1 kids, you guys get a unique opportunity of being exposed to not just your curriculum, but also their curriculum, and how much more culture and, like, detailed information we give to them, that now you can just, by paying slightly attention while doing your work, you can also be exposed to and be even more knowledgeable on when it comes to Hispanic culture and all that. So we appreciate the job that most of you are doing. Like, I know the year just basically started, but I'm really proud of everyone that I have in my classes for Spanish 1, because everyone is like really trying hard and doing their work, and is showing so much willingness to learn, that it's just amazing.
Well, I can't speak for everybody else, but I love you guys too, Mr. Simono and Mrs. Vallejo. I think you guys are awesome. I think that you guys make us want to learn Spanish even more for those who don't speak it, because it's interesting how we get to learn from you guys from different parts of Latin America, and all the different, you guys' different cultures and your different backgrounds. And I think it's a very beautiful and interesting thing.
I think that Hispanic Heritage Month, kind of going back to a question that was asked a while ago, is a great opportunity to educate yourself about the differences in different Spanish cultures. You don't need to wait for the perfect opportunity to meet someone with each of these different diverse Spanish backgrounds to familiarize yourself with it. I mean, you have the internet. You can just do some research, and Hispanic Heritage Month is a great reason to do that. So sometimes you don't have a friend or an acquaintance who is from every Spanish country, but that's okay. You can learn about each of those unique cultures, so that when you come in contact with someone with that background, you are already a bit more educated. And that's true for many cultures. You should just be more familiar with different cultural backgrounds, and you can do that research at any time.
Hi, this is Dr. Ragland, Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This upcoming Monday, October 12th, is Indigenous Peoples Day. Many cities across the United States have begun to recognize the second Monday in October as Indigenous Peoples Day instead of Columbus Day, in acknowledgement of the legacy of violence against Native Americans that Christopher Columbus's exploration brought into fruition. While it is often discussed as though he discovered a new world, it is important to remember that millions of people already inhabited the Americas before European exploration. We are currently on the lands of the Shawnee, Potawatomi, Delaware, Miami, Peoria, Seneca, Wyandot, Ojibwe, and Cherokee peoples. Columbus, Ohio is on land ceded in the 1795 Treaty of Greenville and the forced removal of tribal nations through the Indian Removal Act of 1830. Please join me in recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day and check your emails on Monday for some additional information.
This next question actually is just for you, Mrs. Bauman. What was it like growing up in the United States, being Hispanic or being in a Hispanic background in the United States?
Thank you for asking that question. It was interesting. I felt like I had two different worlds that I lived in when I was with my Spanish family, when I would visit them in Puerto Rico, versus the life I led here in the United States. I was the only Hispanic student at any of the schools that I attended until I went to college. And so very frequently, whenever projects were assigned that were related to culture, it was always an assumption that the teacher would say, and you're going to do a presentation on Puerto Rico. And so I think I often felt responsible for representing Hispanic culture and representing Puerto Rico and being that link and educator for the people around me who had many misconceptions about Hispanics. I know in high school I was very bothered because some of my closer friends started calling me Piñata because my maiden name, Piñero, has a tilde over the N, like the word piñata. And it bothered me because I was like, the piñata has nothing to do with my culture. That's not a Puerto Rican thing. That's a Mexican tradition. And so I think sometimes just trying to politely educate other people about why certain things that they assumed or would say could come off as offensive when really they did not mean anything by it. So I think it was just growing up with a sense of there is something that I have to offer those around me, that I have this different background that I really treasure, but sometimes it was hard to relate to other friends and their families when I would visit them because it did feel like they lived in a slightly different world than my world. I also remember my father did a career presentation. Different parents came to the 8th grade when I was in 8th grade to do a presentation on their careers. And I remember at lunch that day, all of my classmates would come to me saying like, wow, it's really hard to understand what your father is saying. And that is the first time I realized when I was maybe 13, 14 years old, that my father had an accent. Like it had never registered to me that my father had an accent. And it wasn't until I had classmates telling me they couldn't understand what he was saying that it registered. That's interesting. So yeah, those are just some of my experiences growing up.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you, Rebecca, for having us on the show.
Yes, thank you guys. It was great.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.
Well, if you enjoyed this interview, you are in luck. As we continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, we're going to bring these same guests back next week to continue the conversation.
Can't wait for next week so we can go ahead and just keep this conversation going.
Hopefully we'll see you there.
Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, vino a todos ustedes. Podcast, el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, vino de nosotros. Se hablas español, mi disculpa por mi mala pronunciación, estoy aprendiendo, espero que me perdonen. Si no hablas español, presta atención en tu clase de español. Si trabajas duro algún día, entenderás. Cuando llegue ese día, mándame un email. Podcast, ese era el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey, uso en tus oídos. Podcast, ese era el podcast del Cristo Rey, el podcast del Cristo Rey. Nos vemos la semana que viene.